I think my family were my family have always been very supportive and stuff. I think they were surprised because I wasn't doing music until I was like 17, especially not as a career, and I wasn't gigging or anything like that. You know, it had always been like a sports kind of focus for me, playing rugby. And then, yeah, I think I decided to do music right before like applying for universities and stuff. And so I kind of like picked like 4 or 5 unis that I wanted to go to and stuff. And then last minute kind of just scrapped them all and did another kind of 5 unis, but all of these were music based. I think my mum was quite like, "Oh, can you do music? can you write songs? Is it you sure you want to do this? Because, you know, it's 3 years and it's a lot of money." And I was just like, I just want to go for it, you know. It's just like a bit of a let's see what happens moment. And so yeah, I think they were surprised at that moment, and so I think it's as new to them as it is to me, because I feel like I've only really been doing this like properly, writing songs and stuff, for like 5 years now. And so every year and every kind of stage of my career so far has been, you know, new to the both of us, so it's been quite a surprise for us both. My music's definitely changed. I think because of my upbringing, it was very kind of folk based. In my house, there was a lot of like James Taylor and Joni Mitchell and Burt Bacharach and stuff. Very kind of folky artists, very stripped back in their songwriting and stuff. So that's how I started out when I was studying at university. It was just me and my acoustic guitar, and then slowly it just started to, I think, with all the people that I met and all of these people in my class, all of these genres were kind of brought to the table, and influences shared and techniques shared and all of this kind of stuff. So it was that 3 years of uni was really like experimental, all kinds of stuff kind of came into my music. And so by the end of university it definitely changed. It had become a lot more kind of electronic, I think. And then I think, yeah, I've graduated like a year and a half, 2 years ago, and so it's changed a lot. I think it's just more genres have come into the music. I don't think it's changed in terms of like a set genre. There's just been a lot more that's added to it. It's kind of like a bit of a boiling pot of all these kind of things, from like kind of I love to listen to hip hop and R&B to kind of metal and rock and folk and African kind of music and stuff. So it's all just kind of thrown into a pot. I got a lot of anxiety in general, so I think it definitely adds to it. Yeah, definitely. These songs, there's a lot of songs on this album that I've had for, such as Home. Home I've had for 3 or 4 years now, and so it's an old song for me. And so I've had a lot of time to play about with it. It's kind of matured along with my kind of songwriting style and stuff. So yeah, I've definitely grown very close to it, as I have to the rest of the album. But it's definitely, yeah, there is an anxiety about releasing it and seeing how it goes down and stuff. But I think at the end of the day, as long as I'm proud of it and I'm happy with it, which I definitely am, then I shouldn't have much to worry about. Not really, no, I don't think so. For me, it was all about being in the studio, and that was like the part of my job that I enjoyed the most. I loved being in the studio and writing these songs and everything. And I wasn't really, I knew I had to tour, and I was doing kind of local gigs, regional gigs and stuff. But yeah, I didn't have any big dreams or anything like that. I know in the back of my head, I think everyone does. Everyone wants to travel with the job they love and stuff. But recently, as the music progressed and these tours started coming in, we started touring Europe and we started touring America, and it was just incredible for me, and it kind of just really opened my eyes to touring. And it's definitely taken over the kind of love of being in the studio. I love being out on the road. I love being with, it's not, even though I'm a solo artist, I'll take some guys out with me who are kind of like the backing band, who are like my, 4 of my best mates. And so it's an incredible experience, not only experiencing these new cities, new countries and stuff, but kind of experience it with really good friends is amazing fun. So incredibly exciting. Yeah, that's that is like one of the only games that I've played since I was a kid, since it was like that kind of bird's eye view of like the really bad kind of graphics of cars going through streets of London and stuff like that. So I've followed that game, you know, to where it is now quite heavily. And yeah, it was amazing when they got, you know, Rockstar Games got in touch and asked about putting the From Nowhere remix on there. I was incredibly proud, nostalgic moment. And yeah, I think just before Christmas completed that game. Wow. I think in the whole time I was playing it, I actually only heard my song about twice. It was quite it's quite funny, whereas I had friends who probably played about 5 minutes of it and heard it non-stop for those 5 minutes. But yeah, I think on my downtime I do occasionally play some video games. I shouldn't say that because my manager's here. But I think there isn't a massive amount of downtime. I think any downtime has got to be spent productively. So I've been trying to just kind of moved into a new studio. So I've been trying to just keep writing songs and stuff like that. It's a good question. Good question. It's all over the place. It's part of me wants to say that I'm kind of just constantly inspired. I don't feel like I've had many writing blocks or anything like that so far. And it's just all about I keep going. It's like the pace in which I work. I just keep going with songs. It's all quite fast paced, and you know, I move on from one demo to the next demo and kind of just build them up as like not just like concentrating on one song, but trying to concentrate on numerous songs and stuff. So I've never really struggled to find inspiration, but it can, you know, it comes from different places, like where I'll be. I love being at home in Liverpool. I love the kind of setup I've got there, but then I've had there's one song called Eyes Together which I wrote whilst I was running around the park, and it was like I had my iPhone on my shoulder and kind of earplugs in, and I was kind of listening to some metal running around the park, and then had some kind of melody in my head that was going around, and so I just kind of quickly kind of sang into my arm whilst running around the park, and so that kind of thing. And then there's songs that are about relationships and personal things and family members and stuff like that. So it comes from all over the place, really, man. I've not struggled to find it so far. It's good that it keeps coming. That was cool. Yeah, that was good fun. I can remember I had to come from London the night before. I think my appointment with Paul McCartney was at 9 a.m. and I was in London the night before and had to get the night bus, which was 6.5 hours or something silly, and kind of got to bed at 6:30, 7, fell asleep straight away, woke up an hour and a half later, just a bit out of it, a bit just kind of sleep deprived and stuff, and went in, met Paul McCartney and spent 45 minutes with him, and then kind of stumbled home, got back into bed and fell asleep for hours, and then woke up, and then it was this weird state of mind of just being did that happen? Just kind of did I dream that? Am I about to go in to do it? Has my alarm gone off? And it was all a bit crazy, but then give it a day, my head came back around and just kind of remembered that it was an incredible 45 minutes to spend with him, and played a couple of songs for him, and you know, it was amazing that he really enjoyed it, and he kind of picked up the guitar and played along and sang along, and you know, I think some people forget that he's an incredible musician, and I was there playing two songs that he's never heard before ever, yet within 30 seconds of the song he'd kind of picked up his acoustic guitar, he'd quickly scoped out the chords that I was playing, the vocal melodies, and he was harmonising and playing along. It was quite, you know, mind blowing. I was thinking I couldn't do that if someone was, you know, if I was trying to keep up with a song that I've never heard before, but he seemed to just do it pretty easily, and it was quite inspiring to see that. So, and he was just a very humble, nice guy as well, so it was cool.